Hello, West Virginia Baptist Convention family. I'm David Holm, and welcome to the holiday edition of Family Talks. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Advent and Christmas are not far behind. Today, I want to welcome my guest, Corrine Villers. Corrine is the Director of Discipleship for the West Virginia Baptist Convention. And so, welcome, Corrine.
Thank you. Welcome.
Well, if you get the email that the convention sends out every week, you know that Corrine has been doing a lot of work and research on some Advent resources that she wanted to share with you that way. And so today, we're just going to begin. Maybe, Corrine, if you want to talk about some of those resources or some ideas that you might have.
Sure. I'm just excited to offer some of these ideas for Advent. I think with the opportunity that we're going to be home more during the season, our families are going to be spending some more closeness time together. I think it's a great time for us to plan something to do as a family that will allow us to wait expectantly upon celebrating Christmas together. So there were lots of resources in the email. Some of them are Advent calendars that you can print that are free, that just give you a small activity to do every day, perhaps a scripture to read or something to do together. Some of the resources were even something you could do every day for the 25 days leading up to Christmas Day. So you can find whatever you want, something as simple or something much more of opportunity and activity driven if you want. Some are free and some have a small cost. I haven't seen too many that would be cost prohibitive. There's lots of free options out there, low cost options that you could use. So I just encourage everybody to find something that works for them. It's not going to be the same perhaps as what works for someone else, but something that you and your family can do to just begin that different kind of way of celebrating the season perhaps this year.
Well, certainly. And even as you look through those resources, even if you can't follow one to the T, you could at least get some ideas of some things that your family or your church could do during this time. So go to the website. That's wvbc.org, and you can find them there. So thanks for putting all that together. I know it took a
Certainly.
lot of work. One question that people have been asking is, what do we do about things like our Christmas cantata and our children's pageants and all of those? Any suggestions for us there?
Well, I know that things are going to have to be a little different this year, perhaps. But again, there are lots of options online if you want to look some up. Go Curriculum's doing one called Doe Holy Night, and it's an activity you can do as a family, or the church can do it as an online event over Zoom if you want. And it's a process of making cookies, and while you're making cookies, you're talking about all of the ingredients that goes into that special day of Jesus's birth. So it looks like a lot of fun. I'm hoping to perhaps do that with somebody just because I want to see how fun it is. But for children's program, you're going to have to think outside the box. Perhaps you can do something where at home the children can record something and send it to you, and then you can put them all together and make it a children's program that way. A lot of children have a lot of gifts and abilities. They might even feel more comfortable doing it at home in their own comfort. Maybe they'll play you a song on the piano and their parent can record it. Or you can create, our church is going to do the ABCs of Christmas, and each of the kids is going to make their own letter and hold it up and say, what does A have to do with Christmas? And then we're going to put it all together and present it as one of our parts of our children's program. So yeah, and cantata singing is a hot topic right now. Can we sing? Can we not sing? How close together? And so some more creativity will go into that as well. Again, it probably won't look like last year's cantata, but there's a lot of great software out there, and I'm not as familiar, David. Maybe you are with that software, but there are parts where you can record your part and then put it together and add all the parts together. And I've seen some beautiful things produced on Facebook.
I've seen a lot of those things where choirs are doing those things either through Zoom or through some other software that they have, and put together some just incredible musical
Gorgeous.
performances. And so I would encourage you to check those out. One idea about children's pageants that I saw the other day was there's a script, and kids actually record their Christmas pageant on Zoom. They do it on Zoom, record it, and then they make that available on the church's website or Facebook page.
Yes.
So as Corrine said, you just got to be creative during this time. And I know some people might get a little down because they think, well, we can't do these traditional things. But think about it the other way. Think about the possibilities that this opens up for you to not just to be creative, but who knows, in the process, you might start another Christmas tradition, either in your family or your church.
Right.
One of the things that Jill Narroway said to me actually today was talking about that the church during Christmas, this is an opportunity for us to focus on our mission and maybe not necessarily what we're having to give up during this time. So certainly I would encourage churches to take advantage of opportunities to help people in their community, whether it's with a food bank, whether it's helping families in the community. There are just all sorts of things that you can do during the COVID season. Some would argue there are things the church should be doing anyway, but still opportunities for you to reach out into your community.
Right. And I think you can reach out to community whichever way you do your cantata or your children's program. There's a lot of people watching online right now that would never step foot in your door of your church, that will get to see that if you send that out, share it with your friends on Facebook. A lot of people will watch because your kid is in that program, or your church is presenting this program. And I think it's a great way to reach out and be on mission. It's a great way to put it.
Exactly. Well, here's the biggie. Christmas Eve. Man, at Clarksburg Baptist Church, Christmas Eve was the biggest single worship service of the year. It was always my favorite. My family still goes there on Christmas Eve. It is going to be impossible for me, at least at this point, to even think about, Christmas Eve without that wonderful Christmas Eve service. So I have two choices. Knowing that it's not going to be the same, I can sit around and mope about it.
Right.
Or we can find some good creative ways to do Christmas Eve. You got some ideas?
Well, one that we've been tossing about is delivering or having each church member have a candle available in their home, and doing it on Zoom, and just opening the Zoom up for a couple of hours, and so you can come and go. Traditionally, our Christmas Eve service has been a come and a go as you want candlelight, so families will come as a whole, and so that'll give you opportunity to come in and join and do as you want, if you want to do it that way, or you can just do the whole service that way. Schedule an hour, do the whole candlelight service. Everybody has their own candles at home. I'm hoping as a family, we're still going to be able to get together. So to be together at your home and still join on Zoom and participate in that candlelight service would be as close as we could get to the real thing.
I saw another idea the other day. It was similar to our camp in a box, like Cowan did this summer, and they called it Christmas Eve in a box. And basically each family would get a box that obviously the church would determine what they wanted to put in that box. But then at the same time on Christmas Eve, everyone would either watch the video on Facebook or something like that. Another idea I heard was related to shut-ins, because shut-ins and our folks in nursing homes were not able to come to our Christmas Eve services in the first place. And I know this really creates a challenge, because obviously you cannot go to the nursing home, or it would not be a good idea for you to take a bunch of people to the shut-ins home.
Right.
But if you can be creative and find ways to find some media that allows you to deliver that Christmas Eve experience to those shut-ins or those people in a nursing home. And that would be a wonderful way, not only for you to celebrate Christmas Eve, but to bring some joy into their lives at Christmas time as well.
Yes. And I know a lot of the nursing homes are trying to help a lot of the patients keep in communication, and outreach to them. So I think they'd be very open to having a church, present something that perhaps they can make available to all those in the in the nursing home to attend and come to the activity room or wherever they can show that and allow them to participate. I think that's a great idea.
Really?
We're going to do our Advent in a box, actually.
Oh, how nice.
We're going to create all the resources that a family would need to do the 25 days of Advent preparation. Then we're boxing them up and dropping them at homes, or We've actually had a couple of families that have joined our Wednesday night online services for children from out of state. So we'll mail them their boxes as well. But so that same in a box concept, but
Mhm.
getting the chance to drop it at a home and perhaps seeing them through the window or from afar is still another great way to touch with those families. So
Well, it's a little over a month away, and that's a good opportunity for you to, in the next month, reach deep into your creative thinking and to come up with some exciting ways that even in the midst of a pandemic that you can celebrate the birth of Christ. And so I just want to challenge you, be creative, take advantage of the resources that Corrine mentioned that are on the convention website, wvbc.org. If you have heard something today and you say, man, I'd like to hear more about that, or I wish that I had written that down, you're certainly welcome to contact either of us and we'll share with you what we know. One last thing, if you have ideas that you've not heard us talk about here today, that you're just really excited about, send us an email either to villers@wvbc.org or to home@wvbc.org. And we'd love to share those with others as well and find out what you're doing.
yes. Yes. Thanks, David. We'd love to hear what you're doing.
Certainly. Well, Corrine, thank you very much for being with us today. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank
Have
you.
a joyous, hopeful Advent and a Merry Christmas. And Family Talks is going to take a break until the first of the year, but we wanted to get this holiday edition in just so your Thanksgiving, Advent, and Christmas could be a time where you could be creative and celebrate. So again, Convention family, thank you for joining us for this edition of Family Talks.